What is up, everyone? We are back for another episode of the Personal Foul Podcast. I am your host, Colton Gessler. Alongside me is my co-host, Phil, live from Chicago. What is up, Phil?
I'm doing well. More importantly, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling well, yes. So the listeners were asking where we were last week. Well, I was in the hospital Tuesday as we're about to do a show. So I was keeping Phil updated. I didn't think my ass would be staying overnight, and yet I stayed for 3 nights. Lovely me. I love staying in hospitals. Don't we all? So, yeah, I'm doing well. Ended up blowing both my quads, and it turned out to be rhabdo, which is like a keep it short. This is a football podcast, not a medical podcast. I don't really give a crap. I want to continue to talk sports and football specifically. So I had rhabdo, which is your muscles breaking down and the bad protein going into your blood, which could also cause problems for your kidneys, leading into dialysis if you don't catch it early and aren't on top of it. So thankfully, I was on top of it early, and we're ready to rumble here week 3. So, Phil, how the heck are you live from Chicago, huh?
Chicago is a wonderful city, and I'm going out for a nice big-ass steak dinner after we get done with this and a few cocktails.
We
as
love
well.
that.
I should, because you made me worry all week, worrying about your health. You know, this show is all about me, my stardom, my fame, and I can't do anything with you in the hospital. You need to take better care of yourself, damn it. The hell's wrong with you?
I hear you. That's what I get. That's what I get, Phil.
That's what happens when you play softball with the WBC and you.
It is exactly what happens.
Double play, cost us the game, and then you end up in the hospital. I'm teasing.
That's what happens.
Glad you're okay. That is the most important thing. Let's start the show because
let's jump right in here. Again, we missed a little bit of week 2, and clearly we missed week 2. So we'll jump into week 3 here, and we'll start off with probably the bigger stories of the NFL, and that'd be probably the teams that people didn't expect to be 3-0, and that'd be the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'll give you your credit. I'll take mine on Pittsburgh, by the way. You should talk Pittsburgh. You're dead wrong on Pittsburgh. And I was very wrong on your Minnesota Vikings. I'll give you your credit where it's due. You said the Minnesota Vikings were not going to be terrible, and Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson are 3-0. Who would have thought so?
Me. I did, because I said that way before the season started when everyone laughed at me, including yourself. So I was wrong on Pittsburgh. You were wrong on the Vikings. That's 1-1. But the tiebreaker, going back to your Pittsburgh Steelers, is you wanted Russell Wilson to start. And that's not happening anymore. You know damn well that Fields is your starter for the rest of the year. Elaborate on that, please.
Yeah, Justin Fields is starting the rest of the season. By the way, it's what I wanted out of the gate. I just knew that the Steelers were going to start Russell Wilson. They pretty much guaranteed him probably with signing. I'm like, yeah, you're going to get first crack at it. And he ends up getting hurt, pushing a sled around in Steelers training camp. And now the Justin Fields story has taken fold, and he's jumped along with it. Week 1 and 2, he's probably doing just enough to get the wins. Don't turn the ball over. The defense is elite. And week 3 is one of those games where it was like, okay, Justin Fields actually balled out, and he helped in a win. It wasn't like he was just doing enough. He played really well. And shout out to Justin Fields, man. I'm absolutely pumped for him. That's kind of what I want out of the gate. But the same token was we've had mediocre quarterback play the last 5, 6, 7 years. So I just want the best quarterback play because I know how special and elite the Steelers defense is. I just want the best damn quarterback play that I can get.
Wait, hold on. They're not the 85 Bears. Let's not go gaga over that defense. They've played nobody. Herbert got hurt.
That's great. He got hurt late in the third quarter. They still weren't doing much offensively. And played the Atlanta Falcons that everyone's like darling in the NFC. Sorry to tell you. And did it on the road in Atlanta. So they've held teams to lower than 10 points in the first 3 games. Sorry to tell you. That's something to talk about. Sorry to tell you.
Look, I can't.
And then you say Denver.
Played well.
Then they played nobody. Then they played Denver.
I got to talk about them like this, but they've played well. The defense has gone gaga. Your boy Highsmith got hurt. That's going to hurt the defense. He's got a couple of weeks. Too bad. Fields playing over his head. Who do the Steelers have this week?
We play Anthony Richardson and throw into the other team.
That's another win. My God, what a cupcake start to the season for Schittsburg. Oh, my God. I got to deal with this. Enough.
It's a nice start to their schedule because after week 10, it's a shit show.
Oh, good.
After
week 10.
after
Week 10.
week
So they'll be
10,
10-0, and then finish the season 10-7.
That's hilarious, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited about Pittsburgh. I don't want to talk too much about Pittsburgh, but what were your surprises? What were your surprises here in week 3? Because I have one that comes to mind, and that'd be clearly the New York Giants upsetting the Cleveland Browns in another pop-out performance from possibly the best receiver in the draft in Malik Neighbors for the Giants. He had another great
player in the draft. Not the best wide receiver. He's the best player in this draft. Yeah, he's better than Jaden Daniels, I think. I think he's going to be – I mean, look, LSU receiver, they're special for a reason. They play well. They've always played well coming right out of the NFL. He is a monster, and he saved the Giants season. If he's not there, forget it. The Giants are in Miami Dolphin land right now. That's where they would be. And I see your little smirk there. I know you can't wait for me to go on my tirade on Miami. We'll save that for a little bit. But the Giants, they were my biggest surprise this week. I did not see them beating Cleveland. I don't know what the hell's happened to the Browns. I mean, do they miss Nick Chubb that bad? That team's in total disarray. Watson stinks. The defense, I mean, Myles Garrett, where are you? You've been a no-show. I don't want to hear your feet hurt, blah, 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 blah. If you're hurt, don't play. This is the National Football League. If you're playing, produce. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, and you mentioned the other big surprise of the week, and that was last night, and that'd be Monday Night Football. No, not the ass kicking that the Jaguars took. We'll touch on them in a little bit. But that would be Jaden Daniels stunning the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincy. Finally saw the breakout game for Jaden Daniels. It looked like early on, it was like a lot of throws in the flat, like kind of like screens. I'm like, oh my God, this offense is boring to watch. Watching them last week against the Giants, and they just escaped with all field goals. And then they come to Cincy, and I was like, everyone on their mother took the Bengals. That was everyone's pick this week, is the Bengals getting on track, need to win, can't go 0-3, and they're 0-3. Jaden Daniels performed big time under the lights in Cincy. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was a hell of a win. I mean, he's changed that team around, like Neighbors has done for the Giants. He's efficient. That's what's been scary. I mean, he's been like pinpoint accuracy. It looks like Joe Montana back there with the incredible accuracy. I mean, granted that, McLaurin made a hell of a catch last night. Eckler made a nice catch. He ended up getting concussed out for the game. He has done well. And it looks like the Bears made the wrong pick once again. As we go back to Patrick Mahomes and Michael Trubisky, that bum who was your quarterback for a couple of years there. The Bears just cannot pick the right quarterback to save their lives. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, because Williams, he stinks. Let's not kid ourselves. The guy's a bum. If it wasn't for his tight end to bail him out the whole game, Williams would have done nothing. But, Jaden Williams, he's a special player. I don't think he's going to have the long-term effect that, everyone thinks he's going to have because – there's running quarterbacks, man. They get hurt early. If he doesn't run, I think he's going to have a great career. But he likes to run, and I think that's going to hurt him in the end.
Yeah, we've also said that about Lamar Jackson. He has somehow stayed upright for the most part and hasn't taken one of those.
He's missed chunks of seasons.
Yes, he usually misses the end of the season. He's not there usually towards the end. But again, he usually plays in the playoff game and all that. But I agree. But we did see that yesterday, though, from Jaden Daniels. The first few weeks, he was taking some shots and get up smiling. I'm like, boy, you're not going to be smiling all these times getting hit like this, man. You're going to get hurt. And the Commanders and the Redskins would know that with RG3, with some of the licks he took, and that ended up being a short career there for RG3 in Washington. So, again, you saw it yesterday, Jaden Daniels sliding, getting down, so that was good to see him protecting himself. Because, again, if he can somehow stay healthy, I agree with you. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft by a mile.
Yeah.
Again, we haven't seen Drake May yet, so it's very easy to say that. Bo Nix had a nice week 3 bounce back there and a win for them. So
that was another shock. By the way, I'm in this, what do you call these, suicide pools that I lost. Do you believe 150 people are ending on week 3 already? I was like, holy hell. And this jerk off friend of mine, Mike Melanson, won. He's a total douche. Screw you, Mike. You don't deserve to win. Screw the Jets. Another surprise. I can't believe how well they played this week. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he looked like, the Aaron Rodgers of old. Granted, they played a Mickey Mouse franchise in the Patriots. We'll see how they do against a good team, but, they look good. Let's hear you go gaga over Rodgers. I know you want to.
Me, I ain't going gaga over Rodgers. I'm the wrong guy. I think he's the most overrated quarterback in NFL history, that guy. So
no, I think that's Brett Favre, Mr. Parkinson's, who came out with that nonsense today. I always thought it was Favre. And by the way, I have no sympathy for Favre. That is a joke what he did. He stole all that money. The owner of that prescription drug, we had to pay his gambling debts off. Are you kidding me? Hey, way to help your fellow man there, jerk off. They should both fry as far as I'm concerned.
Again, some of the other surprises, we mentioned about the Vikings go 3-0, but the team they beat this weekend, that's quite a resume that they're building up over there. San Fran and everyone's darling, especially mine, and the Houston Texans. What is going on in Houston? Do they have a problem? Houston, we have a problem because they do not look right. And this is not what I expected in year 2 of CJ Stroud, because it doesn't look pretty so far out of the gate for the Texans.
I think the problem with them is they don't have a balance. It's, like Joe Mixon had a great week, and then he's missing this week, and they missed him big time. I mean, Cam Akers, he stinks. I don't want to hear, Cam Akers, he's so great, blah blah. No, he's awful. He can't hit the hole to save his life. He's no good. He never was good. They need Joe Mixon there to help them with the running game, and that defense has been atrocious. Can Will Anderson show up for a game, please? He's been atrocious this year. A big reason why I lost you in fantasy football this week. My defense no-showed, and that was a joke also, you and your fluke win. Boy, what a week you had over me. Oh, God. Steelers, Dolphins, fantasy football.
Yeah, I beat you by 40 points, Phil. I don't think that's
you singer. Yeah, you throw that in.
Sorry to tell you, I beat you by 40 points. I don't think that's lucky. But again, continuing on here around the NFL with some of the more shocking games. Carolina looks competent after putting in Andy Dalton, who had the first game before yesterday with 3 touchdowns and 300 yards passing off the bench for Andy Dalton. What about the Carolina Panthers? You think there's a little magic there?
No, because they played the Raiders. All right, they made a quarterback change. I'm sure the Raiders are planning for that bum Young. Instead, they get Dalton, who, pulled a little Cincinnati magic out of his ass. Yeah, he played well. That's great. Let's see him do it again this week. It ain't going to happen. People are going to be prepared for Dalton. What's his name? The receiver I like, Thielen. He's on IR. That's a huge blow. Maybe we'll see Leggett show up, catch a few passes. The other receiver they had that they drafted last year, he's been a no-show. I forget his name.
Well, the guy they traded for had a career high. That'd be Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson, the ex-Steeler, he had a nice game. I mean, I'm not getting all gaga over Dalton and the Panthers yet. Let's slow down on that. They won their one game of the year.
I just haven't mentioned it. Another surprise team so far, and they've done it without Jordan Love, by the way, and you thought that was going to be a 5-6 week injury. Jordan Love's going to be back this week for the Green Bay Packers, and they get 2 wins. And they get, I'll bet your sweet Pippi he's back this week. I'll bet you everything I got he's back this week. Anyway, continuing on the Green Bay Packers here. What a job they've done with Malik Willis running the show there. Matt LaFleur, what are your thoughts on the Green Bay Packers?
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Football Expert. There's a huge game this Sunday, Packers versus the Vikings. Vikings going to Lambeau. Willis has played well. You leave him in, or are you putting Love in?
No, absolutely not. I'm 2,000% putting Jordan Love back in.
You're also the same guy who also wanted Russell Wilson 2,000%. You see how that's gotten you. Why don't you
not 2,000%. There was never 2,000% with Russell Wilson.
All right. Why don't you ride the Malik magic right now?
It's not magic. Well. He did nothing last week, and this week he finally played well. Congratulations. That doesn't mean I want to go to him all of a sudden.
All right.
No.
Who do you like in that game?
Depending on Sam Darnold's health.
I know that's a big thing now.
That is a big one going in this week, which I never, ever thought I'd say in my lifetime. That
leading touchdown passer in the NFL, yes. Sam Darnold.
Never
He's
ever thought
managing the
I'd
game. That's all he needed to do. Like I said in week 1, if you want to go back and look at my predictions.
Hey, again, Jesus, I don't need to give you credit 3 times on the same thing. I already gave you credit for the beginning of the show.
Someone's going to pat myself on the back.
I gave you your pat on the back. I don't need to do it.
I'll give you a kick in the ass.
I got to keep you in line around here.
Play Malik. That's what I would do if I'm the Packers. But they won't. They'll put Love in because he makes $270 million. And he'll shit the bed this week. And then you're going to hear a little bit of a quarterback controversy. That's right. You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's definitely not happening. But speaking of quarterback controversy, let's slide our way down south to South Beach and your Fins.
You don't want to stop in Jacksonville first?
No, I'll save my – so you're going to have your shit rant here, and I'm going to have my shit rant on Trevor Lawrence, who I think is the most overrated player ever. As with the first overall pick selection. Anyway, your thoughts on your Fins. Oh, the glasses are off. He means business.
Oh, yeah. So let's get something straight here. You signed Tua Tagovailoa to $250 million knowing he's got mush for fucking brains, okay? The guy has had multiple concussions. Now you sign this guy. He's got $160 million guaranteed. You're stuck with him. No ifs, ands, or buts. What happens 2 weeks ago? He doesn't slide. He gets hit in the head. All he had to do was slide. And what the irony of Hamlin hitting him. I mean, oh, my God. You couldn't write that if you wanted to. Hamlin knocks him out. He's laid out. Then you bring in this bum, Skylar Thompson, who's been with the team for 3 years. Now, let me tell you something, Mr. NFL expert. Skylar Thompson was drafted right before Brock Purdy in the last round of the football draft a few years ago. I know you didn't know that. It takes the genius for that to come out. Chris Greer has absolutely ruined this team. You draft bum after bum after bum, and you keep him. Did you see Skylar Thompson play this week? It was a joke. It was, oh my God, I don't want to start cursing up a storm here. It was an absolute atrocious display of football. This guy's been with the team for 3 years. And you can't throw a pass downfield. You can't run out of bounds. You can't throw the ball. You take these wicked hits. He looked like Tua out there. It was a joke. And Mike McDaniel, after the game, we got to play better. We got to coach better. I don't want to hear that garbage anymore. I heard that from Flores, which is why he's not around anymore. You get your ass in gear with that team. You be accountable for that team. You need to go out there and say, hey, you know what? My team stinks. My offensive line, once Armstead got out, I mean, oh, my God. It looked like Ray Charles, Helen Keller, and 3 blind mice out there blocking. Get an offensive line to fix out there. Protect your quarterback. Change some holes. I can't talk about this anymore. Move on. Go ahead. Go to Jacksonville. What a disgrace this Dolphin team is. Holy shit. Oh, yeah. Lap it up. My season's over already. My season's over. 3 weeks in, my season's over. There's no more Dolphin talk. They're supposed to go to the Super Bowl. No, not anymore.
You got Snoop Huntley saving the day. Snoop Huntley, Pro Bowl.
I'll take Snoopy. Snoopy would be better than Huntley. Christ. What a joke. All these bums we pick up, and we can't find a decent quarterback off the wire. I mean, I'd still go after Blaine Gabbert. He has a cannon of an arm. I don't like him personally. I don't think he's not going to win you anything, but he could throw the ball deep to Hill. None of these noodle arms on the bench can do any of that. I mean, and I'm waiting for Hill to pop off. You know that's coming soon.
Frustrated Phil. Yeah, it's.
Oh, yeah.
If it wasn't for my fiance's family all being Fins fans, I would be soaking in this and enjoying your displeasure of the Miami Dolphins. But
it's more like it.
I'm going to take it down to the other Florida team, and that would be Trevor Lawrence's Jacksonville Jaguars. And what a shit show those guys are. Again, I'm not one to poop on players, but my goodness, I will poop on Trevor Lawrence any chance I have. That dude sucks. Trevor Lawrence flat out sucks. People thought this dude was the can't-miss prospect. No, this dude sucks. He still gets the excuse from Urban Meyer being his coach his first year. Stop it. He has a Super Bowl winning head coach, Doug Peterson, running the show. He's had weapons around him down there. I don't want to hear it. The division's been a crapshoot for years. Now finally Houston's good, and you still can't take advantage of anything. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. This guy sucks. Flat out blows. I don't know how many weapons you put around him. A good running back in ETN, Evan Ingram, you name the receivers he's had there. He just flat out sucks. I don't want to hear anything else about Trevor Lawrence. I'm sick and tired of this conversation. This dude just isn't good at football. This is what happens when you're loaded at Clemson and you have everything perfect around you, hunky-dory. This is what happens when you have to go to a franchise like Jacksonville. Congratulations. I know the NFL's talked about moving teams to having a European division. Send these clowns to Europe. Send them to London. They have more fans over there when they play over there in London. Send them to London. The London Jaguars. This team sucks. Trevor Lawrence sucks. And that's flat out it. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Trevor Lawrence. Anytime his name gets brought up, the dude's just an ass clown. He's just a garbage can. You name it. It's what he is. He's ass. Sick and tired of hearing this guy. I'm sick.
I'd send that team to the bottom of a volcano. That's where they belong. But
they're
to be
awful.
fair,
and he sucks. That's the problem. Like, I'm tired of, he's a kid, this kid. And then it's, no, he's still got problems, still trying to work it out after Urban Meyer. It's been 3 years since Urban Meyer.
I don't want to hear that garbage anymore.
He sucks.
He's got to move on from Urban Meyer. It's like a nightmare with him.
That's going to go down as one of the worst contracts as well. And everyone's like, that's what the quarterback's getting paid. That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you give him the money. He doesn't earn the money.
And the NFL has a huge problem right now paying all these quarterbacks. You have Love hurt. You have Tua, who may be done. You have this guy stuck in Jacksonville for the next 10 years. The NFL has to do something with these quarterback contracts because they're going to choke these teams out and they're going to be bad for a long time. And that's not going to be good for the league. I mean, you're looking, Jacksonville's not going to be good for the next 5 to 6 years. Miami, I mean, Jesus, God knows what them. They'll be done for another decade. And by the way, the only good thing that came out of that debacle with Tua is that Stephen Ross wants to sell the team for only $7 million. But I hope he sells it because he sucks as an owner. But getting back to the other point, you have these big quarterbacks. I mean, these quarterbacks who've done nothing with big contracts. It's going to come back and bite the NFL in the ass right down the road.
Yeah, I think the NFL has to have like a separate salary cap situation for the quarterbacks. Like, there's definitely has to be something separate.
Or maybe manage your team a little better.
Like, yeah, but the problem is that's what the
quarterbacks who've done nothing.
Yeah, but the problem is that's what quarterbacks are going for. That's the problem. Teams paying Trevor Lawrence, the Giants paying Daniel Jones. That, no offense, same thing with Tua. Tua didn't deserve all that big money.
No, he didn't.
Like, there's only probably, I don't know, I mean, Dak getting that monster deal, like
that was a disgrace as well. What the hell did he need
5 or 6 quarterbacks that deserve like a monster deal, and he's not even the top 5 paid guy, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Like, that's the problem. I mean, but that's the thing. You're all these other quarterbacks going up. Oh, I'm better than Daniel Jones. I'm asking over that, and you have to pay it. That's the problem. So
you don't have to pay it. Produce for a little while and then pay for it.
It's not going to change. That's where we're going, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately, and it's going to hurt the National Football League in the long term. I can just see this coming down the road. You're paying all this guaranteed money to these bums who are not producing. I mean, now Brock Purdy, he's going to get a contract. He deserves it. Now, I don't think I'd give him $250 million unless he wins a Super Bowl this year, which I don't think is going to happen. But I mean, someone like him, he's going to deserve it. But I don't know how you pay these medical quarterbacks all this money because they're decent. And this is where we're going now with football. It's a joke. And you know who's going to pay? Me and you. We're going to pay at the stadium. We're going to pay more for watching the games. We're going to pay more for Peacock, which is a joke. All this other nonsense. You and I are going to pay. That's what it's going to come down to.
It very well may be that. But again, we got to get you out of here soon. So we might as well jump into the big one. And that would be Beat the Genius. I know the hat's probably not. I know the hat's probably not in the luggage.
No, it isn't. No hat this week.
That's all right. So we'll track back to our week 2 selections, and that would be deplorable from the both of us, as we both went 1 for 3, and I would have been 2 for 3 if it wasn't for the Giants and Graham Gano blowing his damn groin and his everything else. So
By
I
the way,
would have
that's such a horrendous job. The punter can't make an extra point.
I
Put
hear
the punter out
well,
there.
I
They
got
just need
screwed
one
on
extra
it.
point to win that game. Giants could be 2-1 right now, which is scary to say.
Again, it's unfortunate. I'd be 2-3 and ahead of you on picks. Instead, here I am stuck with you because the Giants kicker decided to blow his groin in the first play of the game. So here I am. But
And
again,
I'm going
we're
to throw
now
a caveat because we did not have a show last week. Your fault, by the way.
Yes.
We did not have a show. If you made your picks and you won, we're going to count them because that's the kind of genius I am. I'm a nice genius.
You're a nice genius. So we are now on to week 4 in the NFL. Phil, I'll let you start off the floor here. What are your picks, Phil?
All right. Week 1, first game, I'm taking the Bengals. I know they're 0-3. There's no way in hell they're going down to Carolina and lose. No chance. I shouldn't say no chance. I mean, I said that week 1 when they lost to the Patriots. I need to get off this Bengal bandwagon, but there's just so much talent there, and they're playing the worst team in football. The line 6.5?
4.5.
4.5. Oh, I'll take that. That's even better. I'm taking Cincy minus 4.5. My second pick, I got to take the Eagles. It's a tough one. Well, I don't know if Brown will be there. I don't know if Smith, he may still be out. I think he may be back. But yeah, I see them. I see them coming back. Winning. Covering at least. What's the line on that game?
2.5.
2.5.
Yes, 2.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take that. And then lastly, I'm taking Baltimore. I think they're just going to destroy Jesus. Who are they playing?
They play Buffalo.
Bad job on that. They're playing who?
Buffalo.
I'm sorry. Buffalo. That's right.
Buffalo.
I think they're going to kick the crap out of Buffalo. I should have known it. That's the game of the week, obviously. Buffalo versus the Ravens. Minus 2.5.
Yes.
For Baltimore. Yeah. So they're favored at home against the 3-0 Bills. This is going to be a classic Bill choke job. I see them blowing it in the end. I'm taking the field goal. Justin Tucker, tie game, goes down, kicks the field goal, wins the game, covers for me, makes Colton mad. That's why I'm the genius.
Well, you're going with that. That's fine by me. So I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to cover 6 points Thursday Night Football at MetLife.
Wow.
I just think I don't think the Giants are really that good. I just think because Cleveland sucks. Last time we saw Dallas go into MetLife to start off the season, they absolutely annihilated the Giants. I think Dallas has to get back on track here. Dallas gets a win on the road at MetLife. -6 for the Cowboys. I love that. And another spread that I find mighty tasty, and I'm going to jump on it. I'm jumping on the Steelers at Indy -1.5. Give me the Steelers defense to cover the spread and take the win. -1.5 for the Steelers. And my final game
shows up next week.
What'd you say?
I hope Richardson shows up next week. Another no-show last week, by the way. He was atrocious.
He loves throwing to the other team. I don't know what to tell you, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one that I like, it's a team that has to win. God, losing to the Giants, deplorable. That'd be the Cleveland Browns as a road dog. +1 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Give me the Cleveland Browns +1 at Las Vegas. I like that a lot. So our picks this week, it'd be Phil with the Bengals at -4.5, the Eagles -2.5, and the Baltimore Ravens -2.5 as well against Buffalo.
Chalk,
big game.
baby, chalk. Take the chalk.
Taking the chalk. So in my picks, I'd be taking Dallas Thursday night -6, the Steelers at Indy -1.5, and Cleveland at Vegas +1. So that is Beat the Genius again, folks. Give your picks on Facebook on the stream, or you can comment on the Personal Foul podcast page. That's where everything is always at. And make sure you subscribe to the Personal Foul Podcast on all
Thank you,
your
Eddie Ortiz, for subscribing today. I appreciate it.
What's
And
that?
give a shout out to my friends. People who subscribe, I'm giving you a shout out.
Yes, make sure you subscribe. Again, follow the ticker underneath on Facebook at Personal Foul Podcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Personal Foul Pod. We appreciate it. Drop your picks for the week. Drop your 3 games. Have an opportunity to win a 30-pack from Phil, but sorry, I'll be taking all of it, and I'll be getting myself a 60 burger from Phil. So, Phil, speaking of beef and burgers, how about you go enjoy yourself your steak tonight in Chicago? I know you had your deep dish yesterday.
Yes.
And appreciate you as always, Phil.
And as you. Give me 30 seconds on baseball. Chicago White Sox setting a record, most losses of all time, getting the Mets off the snide. That bothers me. Yankees wrap up the division with a win. I think they're 3 out from getting the number 1 seed. I'm sure Boone will screw that up somehow. Oakland A's, pathetic job not celebrating their legacy as they move to Vegas. John Fisher is a clown and should sell that damn franchise. And the big series, Mets versus Braves. I think this hurricane is going to screw things up for the Mets and somehow give the Braves that last wild card spot.
Phil has to always throw in his baseball. So, Phil, appreciate you. Yes. This is the Personal Foul Podcast. I'm Colton. That Phil will be back again next week to recap week 4.
Helmet will be back next week.
Week 4 in the NFL. I can't believe we're already going to be going through week 4.
Quarter of the way in, yeah.
Can't believe it. So, folks, tune in again next week. We will recap it all. Have a little bit longer of a show. It was a little bit late with Phil being in Chicago, me going out to dinner tonight. So we'll, again, make sure we have a little bit longer of a show for you next week. Appreciate you for listening. Make sure you subscribe. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, you name it, we're there. And make sure you watch the video live on YouTube and Facebook.
And everyone, to the fans who watch live, we say thank you.
And we do say thank you. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. And again, we'll be back next week.
Have a good